Alright, I just want to apologize in advance for the fact that I'm out of breath a lot in this recording. It's allergy season where I'm at, and I have really bad asthma. So, like, my allergies are all over the place. It's making it hard for me to breathe. I apologize in advance. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. This video series will be done in 3 sections, with me and the homie Pox. I will be covering Substitute Shinigami, Vizards, and the Fullbringer. Poxal will be covering Soul Society, the rest of Wako Mundo, and Thousand Year Blood War. So let's start this Orihime analysis by talking about her backstory. When she was 3 years old, her brother Sword ran away. He took Orihime, saving her from her abusive father who was about to kill her. 9 years later, he passed away. Orihime carrying his body to the Kurosaki clinic drenched in blood. We now know that her aunt is paying for her house bills, but every time she gets a bad grade, the money gets lower and lower. Now that we have some context on Orihime, let's start this video. 3 years after he passed away, he thought Orihime forgot about him. The despair of this alone turned him into a hollow. He starts to attack Orihime and her friends. Finally, Rukia pieces it together. Her brother is hunting her. Ichigo gets attacked by acid wire. He and Rukia rush to Orihime. She is already quote-unquote dead. Her soul is knocked out of her body, her chain of fate is exposed. As Orihime regains her self-awareness, she sees Ichigo, jumps in front of him as Sora tries to bite him, saving Ichigo. She's scared of the creature Sword became. She faces him, telling him she prays for him and talks his pictures. Didn't want to do it too often because she didn't want to make him sad that she's still mopey. Not to mention, she wears the hairpins that he gave her. Ichigo performs Kanso, absolving Sora of sin, sending him to Soul Society. Rukia uses the memory eraser gadget, which we later find out it doesn't work. Later, as Uryu breaks the hollow bait, Orihime is attacked by Numb Chandelier. She recalls being able to see spirits. They were fuzzy, but now they are full apparitions. Orihime and Tatsuki are attacked. Tatsuki gets infected by Numb Chandelier. Orihime is really pissed off because Tatsuki's being hurt. She awakens her Fullbringer, Shinshin Ruka. This Fullbring is her pixies.
Hinagiku! Bygone! Lily! I am Shuno. And I'm Ayame! Tsubaki!
She uses 3 moves to fight Numb Chandelier.
Santen Kishun, I reject! Toten Zanshun!
Santen Kishun, I reject!
Now let me explain the reason she was able to awaken her Fullbring. Because when she was younger, her brother had complimented her hair. He said it was beautiful. She felt good and confident about her hair. Then in junior high, a 9th grader hated how it looked. He took scissors to it, cutting it. She then chopped it off on her own, telling Sora she wanted to change. After her brother died, she felt so alone she withdrew herself from school, not being outgoing. She became lonelier and lonelier. Tatsuki had protected her and told her to stop this nonsense. She started to grow her hair, symbolizing her trust in Tatsuki. She then wished for power to protect people she loved, which is the very essence of the hairpins and her faith in Tatsuki. She killed Numb Chandelier with Tsubaki. Later on, after Rukia goes back to Soul Society, Ichigo is defeated, down and out, without power. Orihime giving Ichigo a speech to regain his confidence, which alone gives him the mental fortitude to go train with Kisuke. Later we see Yoruichi grab Orihime and Chad, trying to get Uri to train with them too, but he was too busy with Let's Still Glove. She then tells Chad and Orihime about their abilities and how to use it properly. I will go more in depth in that subject in video 3, The Fullbringer and Soul Society. But now they are leaving for the Soul Society and the Dongai.
So going off of where Crank left off, the group is currently in the Dongai, and the Kotosu is chasing them, and it's going to kill the group. Now Ohime comes in here and uses her shield against it to save everybody in the group. If she did not do that, several of the members, if not all of them, would have died. So straight up right off the bat, we have Ohime saving the entire group in this moment. That includes Ichigo, Uryu, Chad. Yoichi probably would have been able to escape, all things considered, but she only would have probably been able to take 1, maybe 2 at the most with her as she escaped. So Ohime saves the day. She's a goat in this scene, and she really puts herself at risk in this moment. Now it's kind of against Yoichi's orders in a way, but it still saves the group in the end, and they would have died without her. Right after this, Ichigo fights this guy named Jabambo. And he destroys Jabambo's axes, and Jabambo ends up opening the gate, and Genichimaru badly injures Jabambo. Now Jabambo isn't considered super strong in the series, but he is still up there as he is a gatekeeper, so he's not like top 50 or 60, like he is around the seated officer range and not lieutenant or captain level, but he's still pretty strong, and Orihime saves him by healing him. So without Orihime in this case, Jabambo would have died. There's even more usefulness to her. And the next feat that she kind of has that's pretty useful is the fact that she sacrifices her own food for Ichigo to help Ichigo train during that. So I mean, that's a pretty good moment in the series, because she's willing to sacrifice her own hunger. She's willing to go hungry to help Ichigo with his training, because she's already goated at Ryatsu control. I mean, she's able to control her Ryatsu better than Ichigo at this moment in the series. So again, even more usefulness. And as they do get launched into the Sarate, there's another moment where she is blown away with Uryu, and as the ball disintegrates, she's about to get badly injured, but she uses Seitan Keshun. I cannot pronounce anything in Bleach, so forgive me. That's kind of like her shield, and she uses it to break their fall. Hence, because of her, Uryu and Orihime are saved. Now, Uryu does help Orihime because she gets knocked unconscious, but still, without Orihime, Uryu would be dead in that moment. Now, quite quickly, they end up getting inside of a combat encounter, and Orihime does do something that some might be considered useless in this moment, but I don't really consider it useless because it shows Orihime's character. Orihime is a very kind character, and she never wants to have this intent to kill, and she needs to have that to use her ability effectively in this moment. But at the end of the day, Uryu does save Orihime in this moment. You could say that's bad with her character, but I think it keeps her character consistent. It is in the useless sense, but she still, has her abilities. And right after that, she has a massive useful moment where she comes up with the idea to steal Shinigami uniform to give them a small break during their battle to kind of blend in with the audience. She notices that, Uryu does not. So this is actually a great moment because Orihime is using her high IQ. She's not that smart, but she's using her brain, and she showed her usefulness by figuring out a way to let them be peaceful, I guess, for a few hours, giving them some time to rest in a sense, which is really important when you're invading a Sarate full of Soul Reapers. So that is a very useful moment, no matter how you put it. And this was all Orihime's idea to take the Shinigami robes, and guess what? She's the one that beats the two Soul Reapers up to get the Shinigami robes. That means she is trained better than two individuals that are trained with a sword for several years, and she's only learned a few lessons of Cry from Tatsuki. After this, again, she doesn't do that much, but she does end up saving Makizo thanks to Uryu yelling at Orihime, watch out. She uses her shield, and she saves Makizo, or Maki, from death. So she saves another Shinigami from death, and that shows her kindness, but she does do that, meaning that she, once again, is useful in this moment. She saves somebody, and at the same time, she doesn't just save Maki, she also saves Uryu once again. So Uryu is saving Orihime a few times by battling certain people. She's also saving him from explosions and other things, so they're working really well together. They are both useful, not useless, because without one, both of them would have been dead by now at this point in the story. Well, maybe not. Both of them could possibly be dead at this point in the story, which is kind of a dark thing to think about. They are intertwining their usefulness and helping each other. Later down the line, Orihime finds Ichigo and is able to identify his huge Ryatsu just by staring at him. Pretty interesting, but at that point there's not much more in the arc that I saw during my rewatch that showed her massive usefulness, but there's also nothing that shows her uselessness. She is useful. 90% of her moments inside the arc are of her being useful.